I know that what unsanctioned camps look like and the impact they have on surrounding neighbors. This will not be that.
There's no neighborhood without homeless encampments near it, and there's no neighborhood without children. There are no good neighbors for our least fortunate neighbors in our community, and that makes me sad.
Do you have a better idea?
Hey guys, check this out.
What is it?
Is someone in?
Good afternoon, commissioners. I'm starting my timer, so I will be respectful of the 4 minutes. I'm Cheryl Selby, Mayor of Olympia, and I'm here today to speak about the power of partnerships. Our nation is facing the results of decades of disinvestment in mental health and substance use treatment. The breakdown of the residential psychiatric system, coupled with the opioid crisis, has precipitated an epic need for on-demand treatment beds that is overwhelming our healthcare system. Meanwhile, local hospitals and jails have become the default housing system for a population that the state and federal government has abandoned. A contributing factor is that, as well, economic disparity has never been higher, and the chasm between the haves and the have-nots has never been wider. And then you add on top of that a global pandemic response, and local government has never been asked to do more for its communities with less resources. The broken systems are playing out across our nation, resulting in massive income insecurity, housing instability, and its partner, homelessness. When you overlay trying to solve or problem solve these issues when there's historic divisiveness in our country, it can seem overwhelming. I know this all sounds bleak, but there's a glimmer of hope on the horizon. Under the leadership of the county, we now have a regional housing council working to address this crisis. As well, the county allocated recovery funds to help service the current encampments that we're hosting in Olympia. More immediately, I want to thank you for the courage to work with Providence St. Peter's Hospital and the City of Olympia to find a path forward to address the public health and safety issues on Ensign Road. As you've heard earlier, Ensign Road is a key transport corridor to our regional hospital. The narrowness there can take minutes away from a patient's access to life-saving care. The Ensign Road campers are not in a tightly managed situation due to logistics and funding issues. The path forward will be a phased relocation effort in partnership with the City of Olympia. Phase 1 will be clearing the nearest campers from the emergency room entrance, potentially up to 20 vehicles, as you've heard, and relocating them to an empty lot on county property off of Carpenter Road. This site will be a sanctioned location that will be able to manage 24/7 and monitor in a way that will restrict illegal activities, lessen the impact on the neighbors, and provide a safe place for the campers. They will not need to go off-site for food and sanitation needs, all while connecting these residents to services and a pathway to housing. I know that what unsanctioned camps look like and the impact they have on surrounding neighbors. This will not be that situation. The second phase will be moving the Carpenter Road residents to a parcel off of Lily Road, where we can also fit the remaining campers and cars from Ensign. As well, the city is committed to enforcing a no parking ordinance on Ensign, so this area doesn't attract future campers. Is this a solution to homelessness? No. Is it a way to manage an unmanageable situation until much needed resources arrive from the state and federal government? Hopefully. The hard truth is that local governments can't manage a problem as complex as homelessness, but not trying isn't an option. Like Carolyn said, I'll ask folks to read last Sunday's editorial page for a broader scope of what city and county governments are facing in the battle to address this crisis. In the meantime, I ask the commissioners and county staff to stay the course on our partnership and be bold in your leadership. Thank you.
I'm Jim Cooper from the Olympia City Council. I'm also the chair of our Regional Housing Council. And I wanted to just come here and talk to you about the MOU between the City of Olympia and the county for safe parking. And really just to emphasize that everyone is struggling. Our entire community is struggling. Whether you're a family struggling on low wages, whether you're a small business owner, a restaurant owner, a theater owner, or a mother living with their baby under the stars with no shelter at night. And it's an unfortunate situation. In fact, it's an impossible situation. And I want to thank you for leading and governing in the worst of times. In fact, I would venture to guess, and all facts and experts are telling us, that this problem will only continue to get worse. And so this is a great way to show your leadership as we build the structures and relationships to continue to do our best in an impossible situation, as Mayor Selby alluded to. I can't remember very many times in my time on the council where the largest non-state employers have come together to tackle a public safety issue. The county, the City of Olympia, Providence Hospital, the medical providers in the area coming together to work towards public safety. Public safety for our EMS patients. So right in the front door of the hospital is manifesting this emergency. And we all know, in fact, the majority of our voters know, 2/3 of our voters told us in August that they want EMS response to be quick and well-resourced so that people won't die. And we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that 1 minute can make a difference in someone's life. Safety for the neighbors and the businesses and the families and the communities. There's no neighborhood in Thurston County that's not touched by this crisis. There's no small business that's not touched by this crisis. There's no neighborhood without homeless encampments near it. And there's no neighborhood without children. There are no good neighbors for our least fortunate neighbors in our community. And that makes me sad. It's a failure of our society, and we have to do our best while we wait for larger interventions. It's safety for the elderly and the babies who live in this camp. And I'm proud of this MOU and us coming together for this stopgap measure that's going to hurt a little bit while we do some moving and we readjust. But I can tell you that this is what leadership looks like, and this is how it's supposed to look. When Olympia has learned some lessons, when we roll up our sleeves and we're partner oriented and we work with the neighbors, many, many, many of the concerns that we hear today do not manifest. The neighborhood takes care of itself and takes care of the people in it. We also know, as I stated, that there aren't good neighbors. No matter where you have this conversation, people are going to fight. Every single jurisdiction in the Regional Housing Council has been evaluating 250 properties. We can't find one where anyone will accept our low-income neighbors. So I just want to reemphasize that we appreciate your partnership. We appreciate the partnership with Providence St. Peter Hospital. We will enforce the parking. We will continue to work towards a bigger property where we can reduce hardship for everyone involved. And I look forward to those outcomes as we work together. And then lastly, I just want to reemphasize for the County Commission, thank you for serving. I know this is really hard. I know you hear a lot of things that aren't true and aren't fact on a daily basis, and you have to wade through it and keep all of us safe. And I think you're doing the best job you possibly can, and probably one of the best jobs in the region, if not the nation, with one of the most difficult times governing and elected officials have ever seen. So thank you for your service.
Good afternoon. My name is Carolyn Cox. Although I serve on the Lacey City Council, I want to make clear that the views I'll share today are my own. I am not speaking for our council. As has been made painfully aware, the situation on Ensign Road has become intolerable as more and more RVs park there and block entrances to medical facilities, not just the emergency room, but to other medical businesses there as well. Ambulances are forced to avoid Ensign Road to get to the emergency room, wasting precious minutes when lives are at stake. And as chair of the Intercity Transit Authority, I can tell you that it has been a struggle for the buses to pass through, so much so that we revised the route to avoid that stretch of Ensign Road. I empathize with many of the speakers here today. This is uncomfortable for everybody, but this is not unique to Thurston County. We're part of a national crisis that's going on. The West Coast is being hit harder than other parts of the country. So I commend county staff and commissioners for the responsible plan that you're putting forward to improve access to the hospital and to nearby medical facilities. The plan, as I understand it, is to move no more than 20 of the RVs from Ensign Road to the county-owned site at Carpenter Road near Martin Way. The individuals being chosen for the move are the most vulnerable of the RV campers, and I want to emphasize this, the most likely to be good neighbors in the area. The county is establishing safeguards that include site supervision as well as security for that site, and the RVs won't be there permanently. This is a temporary measure, 6 to 8 months, while the county and the City of Olympia complete purchase and preparation of a permanent site. The Carpenter Road site is just outside Lacey city limits. No doubt there will be some impacts, but I am comfortable with the responsible approach and safeguards proposed today. I would remind commissioners and those listening that 2 years ago, this very site was vetted as a mitigation site to take pressure off the City of Olympia. The only reason that didn't happen was the high cost of preparing the site to accommodate tent camping. Parking RVs there will not cost that much money, and therefore I think this is a much more reasonable use of that and a much more fiscally responsible use of our dollars here. I get it that no one relishes the idea of having a homeless encampment, whether it's tents or RVs, near their business or home. But this is a temporary measure and will all benefit from improved access to St. Peter's Hospital. It will be safer for the RV campers at both sites as well. Thank you for the thoughtful approach to making this work. And to those who oppose this plan, I would borrow a phrase from the Olympian's recent editorial about the plan. Do you have a better idea? If you do, I would love to hear it. Thank you.
Anyone that watches my videos is by definition a good person.